YouTube? What is up, everybody? Welcome to a cast, an Ark of Osiris cast. Hell yeah. Let's get it going. 5 minutes on the clock as JWM are about to go up against Misfit Lion Division. You can do both. So yeah, Kingdom 93 going up against Kingdom 59 in one of the biggest Ark of Osiris I feel like we've ever had, right? From the moment they maxed out the maximum matchmaking rating, I don't think we've ever seen such a close fight in terms of like the top, right? The top of the top are here. And man, I'm excited for this match. We're going to do things a little bit different today because I'm working on a couple of things in parallel, right? You guys know I am a very multitasker, very big multitasker. Big shout out to Kingdom 93, by the way. Stop trying to distract us from forts. Okay. Well, sure. So they're focused on their forts right now, I guess. Yeah, it's almost like you can pull up this thing on another monitor, but whatever. Anyway, Kingdom 93 against Kingdom 59. It's going to be a big boy fight. I'm really looking forward to do this. And as I was mentioning, since I'm doing a few things in parallel today, we are going to have no camera, no overlays, no nothing. All you guys are going to see on today's cast, for the sake of this cast only, because I need the footage out of it, is going to be like this. Yep, we're going to see, just like you guys watch the game, you're going to still hear me. I'm still here. Don't worry, I am still here. But I need the footage for something I'm working on. And so for that, we're gonna keep the screen clear, but the commentary will still be there. Everything will still be there. The only difference is you're not going to see my my recently shaved face. Here you go, Chad. Like, you know, just shaved last night. It feels so good to shave. But yeah, so we're going to take that off and we're just going to stay like this and do a regular cast, with the exception of the fact that we're going to use the footage later on. Let me shout out a few awesome folks in the chat already. IDF Matkal, yo Gekko, how's it going? How are you doing, mate? Is this the first stage? Is this the first stage in Ark? What do you mean? Is it the first stage in Ark? This is how Ark of Osiris starts. If you've never seen Ark before, this is the waiting window before we can enter the Ark of Osiris itself. Let's see what else we have here. Mr. Brawny Zocket, what's up, dude? Shinobu, JWM, I love you, but I'm going to support MFLD. Go for it. Support whoever you feel like supporting. Let me know in the comments as well while you're at it. Hashtag JWM or hashtag MFLD. Who do you think is going to win this match? I'm really interested to see what you guys think. We have Abudoma Richard Razvan from Kingdom 1337. Noise Gaming, Wolf, Madara, IDF Matkal, Mohammed Gamer, Ivy. Hey, Ivy. You stream it. I love you. Awesome. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Konchai, I think is how you say her name. At least hit the like button. I agree. Hit that like button before we start. Saxy ZD, what's up, my dude? Duo Game, Vin, I Nassim, Linheim 1592. I don't know what the heck that is. Wijdan, Rajpreet. Who else we had here? Dimitris. Other names, Jedi Mind. What's up, Jedi Mind? Yeah, there's a lot of Titans in here. Grimy and Luciano. Who else we have in here? Alice, of course, another one of our members, always representing Felipe Costa. And I think I got all the names, right? Who else we have here? Ross is here. Corny A. Baby Raccoon. It's going to be a good match. Colonel 8Q8 Beta. Hell yeah. It's going to be a fun match. I'm really looking forward to see what's going on. SP Martu, Irish Villanueva. Welcome, everybody. We have a Noobman who subscribed, as well as Rock the World subscribing to the channel. Thank you guys for just subscribing. I apologize you don't see it on the screen. We're kind of having to record some footage today. We're kind of having to we have some folks from Kingdom 59, from Kingdom 93 sending their support to MFLD, the folks of MFPD. the folks of MFCD, all going good luck to MFLD in their kingdom chat. This is the coolest part of this all, to see the kingdoms unite. And here we go. Ark of Osiris opens up. It is time for us to get in and watch the action. We start off by closing this up so we don't have any interventions, and we are on the battlefield of Ark of Osiris. Let's take a quick peek at both sides, see how everything is looking like. J-Rock already starting with an emote going strong. I love the spirit. I love the spirit. J-Rock and X Kingdom 58 now in Kingdom 93. Of course, we have Lion King of 93, Billy at the head of the spear, Lady Dragon, Royal King right next, and many, many more. Look at them. I feel like they know we're streaming, right? They know we're on them, so they're putting up the emotes. I love it. Beta in here as well, Mr. Extra Super. Oh God, did we already disconnect? No, here we go. And Geo planning and execute, the guy planning and in charge of the Ark of Osiris in MFLD, and so many folks in here. It looks like they're pretty much ready to go. On the other side, we have none other than JWM. Let's take a quick peek and see who we have at the front. Box leading the charge today on this Ark of Osiris, with Boss right behind him, and a lineup of the usual suspects. These are the usual suspects, some of the biggest boys in the game, and some of the most ruthless known players such as Noon, Da, and many others in this lineup, as we are waiting for the timer to run out, the gates to open up, and this battle will go on, and hopefully we're gonna have a very, very good fight in our hands. I'm really hoping that it's going to be balanced, and that both these kingdoms don't necessarily only try to win, but we actually get to see some of their experiments as they are working on their strategies, on improving what they're doing and their gameplay as a whole. And with that being said, I'm really hoping that we will get to catch some instances of some amazing gameplay from Kingdoms 93 and Kingdom 59. We have a lot of Super Beta fans in the chat. That is good to see. That is good to see. He's definitely a great guy. And man, this is one of those kingdoms where when you see the folks on both sides, some of these names are so known, are so like familiar names. And I love it. I love seeing this. But 35 seconds is all that's stopping these kingdoms from going at it. And as that cloud is being annoying, let's put our screen somewhere else right here so we can see the gates open up and see the floodgate come out of Kingdom 93. We'll go take a look then at the floodgate of Kingdom 59. And we'll talk a little bit about Ark of Osiris and what you should know before we start this crazy match. 10 seconds on the clock. Let me know in the comments yet again, if you haven't yet, who you think is going to win. Hashtag JWM or hashtag MFLD. Let me know right now. And let's go as the gates open up and the troops start marching. Kingdom 59 versus Kingdom 93. JWM against MFLD. The two bigger alliances in their respective kingdoms about to go at it. Kingdom 93 starting to march out, and so is Kingdom 59. And the gates are open. It's time to flood the map. And before all this, 230 awesome people watching the stream. Some of you might have not seen Ark of Osiris before, so let's really quickly go over what you need to know right now. As the map opened up, every single building is available, but not all buildings are ready for occupation. The name of the game in Ark of Osiris is to occupy as many buildings as you can for as long as you can, and in order to do that, you need to get into the building, hold on to it, and stay within it for the remainder of 3 long minutes. Once that happens, the building is officially yours, and you turn into the points per minute winner, essentially, and every single building will start ticking for points. Holding on to buildings will give you points. However, until the 52nd minute, so we have about 4 minutes to go, the only buildings that are available for occupation are the obelisks and the outposts. The shrines and altars will later on be available on this 52nd minute. And after that, from there on out, everybody goes at it for whichever building possible and really try to win as many points we can to win the match. For now, all you need to know is we have 4 rallies from each side going for 4 obelisks. These obelisks are crucial early on, because these are the buildings that allow you to teleport outside of the starting zone, closer to their zone, within the radius right here. Well, we do see the radius. There we go. So within this radius, you're capable to teleport, and it'll essentially save you some time from marching all the way from the back all the way to here. And this is why these buildings have the top priority in the beginning, and why everybody rallies everybody's different obelisks. Now, not every rally is going to hit. Some of these rallies are being used to move troops on the field. Others will actually hit the obelisk. We're about to find out as time goes by. But for now, we see that we have a marching march from Kami, a marching march from Hito, a marching march from everybody, really. And on the other hand, all 4 marches are marching as well. This march right here making it to the top obelisk to secure it and lock it in their favor. And let's go take a peek and see what else we have. Some marches still making their way across the map to try to get into these other obelisks that belong to JWM. Lion King of 93 fallen back with his fast cav into the outpost so he can teleport momentarily out to the front. So far, it's looking good for both sides. The match is relatively simple, and marching march is marching to a march, something like that. As of right now, everything is super simple. Everything is straightforward. All it is about is to lock down your buildings and start gaining points per minute. And from there, things are going to get more hectic, and we'll get into them as we go. And so for now, what are we going to look at? There is a rally still marching from JWM's side, 1 remaining marching rally. It is currently moving upwards on the field towards the upper red obelisk, but I don't believe that one is going to work out very well. That building is super well secured. MFLD will not let that go that easy. Full cavalry marching across the map. Its goal is most likely to move troops further on the field, the same as I assume this rally right here is doing. It looks like a rally by VJK is not going to stop. It is aimed at the obelisk that belongs currently to JWM, but JWM have so many open field presences, people in here that rally is taking huge damage just from the open field fight right there. It's a relatively even trade when it comes to relatively full march compared to a solo march. Trouble in the making. Is MFLD going to let the obelisk take damage? Probably. It looks like this rally is not looking to break apart. While all this is going on, both teams are securing their specific buildings. We're looking at 2 outposts and an obelisk secured by both teams, which is why both are gaining 80 points per minute. And from here on out, it's all about the points per minute game. Whoever can own it, whoever can get the most points will be the victorious side, as MFLD about to crash into this obelisk belonging to JWM. The obelisk is taking a good amount of damage, but the rally is 2. And it looks like even though this rally did land, JWM are on top of it and ready with a solo swarm as well as a full building, plus the fact that now Noon ports into the front, building occupied successfully by JWM. And now cleanup will come as Boss and Noon first of all come in to clear this rally out of the way real quick. Pepe porting in as well. All buildings opened up, and first occupations looking better for JWM as of right now. 3 altars in the favor of JWM as they've taken them very early on, holding on for about 30 seconds now. But is this going to be enough? Can MFLD take this building away from JWM? JWM also contesting the Sky Altar away from MFLD. This rally that was marching towards the top obelisk seemed to have broken and gone to fighting the open field against the Sky Altar that is very, very close to being taken out. MFLD have marches on the open field that will secure this building and hopefully will allow them to maintain it for first occupation, because that right now is their primary goal. Even then, Tintin with his tier 5 full march is causing havoc to the Sky Altar. Sky Altar is really going to need some extra reinforcements. We're going to keep an eye on this momentarily. But more importantly, we have MFLD trying to take away the Desert Altar back in their favor. Now, one thing I usually point out that I haven't this time around is that the map is a mirrored map. It's a symmetric map. So ideally, this altar right here should belong to the folks of MFLD, just like this one should belong to them, and vice versa on the other side. It's important for you to know this because it goes to show as to the priorities that each team has when it comes to occupying their own buildings. Why are these buildings the more important ones? Pretty simple. They are the closest buildings when it comes to altars to the obelisks. And so look at Kingdom 93, 1, 2, and 3 coming out hot with the rallies. And they know that this rally has the lowest march time this way, and they have to take over this building before it's too late. Another rally, 4 rallies by Kingdom 93 here at the bottom looking good. We're about to see blue buildings blink. But the number one goal right now is first occupation. When you occupy a building for the first time, there are first occupation bonuses you get as the first occupying alliance kingdom. You will get an extra 750 points per altar. This is why having your 2 altars early on is super important. But JWM locking in this altar so nicely that in 10 seconds, if they manage to hold on, it'll be first occupied by them. And this can be real trouble because it'll create the first little gap in favor of JWM. Building secured. We're going to go take a peek at this altar right here that should be also on its way to being secured. Secured as well by JWM. Buildings blinking everywhere. Shrine of Life being contested, but being taken out by JWM. And a rally now coming into the Sky Altar. Massive presence by MFLD. They're not going to let this rally do the damage. They are here ready to hold on, and they are here ready to stack things up, smash into this rally on the open field, and chum it out of its mind. That is right. We're looking right now at a JWM rally making it to the Sky Altar, a Wuzetian holding on to the Sky Altar, while a massive open field swarm is coming up against this rally. Very, very successful and dominant hold by MFLD doing the work. Rally on the Shrine of War being counter-rallied right now by Coffee or Tea. This rally's been going on for a little while. It is also a great defense by Wuzetian and MFLD. That building will indeed hold in favor of MFLD. Shrine of Life being contested, but it's being defended and defended well by Hulk, who is going up against the Royal King in Kingdom 93. A march swapping its defense of the building, ensuring that the building lasts, and more buildings are blinking. We don't have enough time to keep an eye on all of them at the same time. MFLD swarming this altar, and even though they lost first occupation, giving JWM a slight lead, they're not going to let this stand. With every minute that goes by, JWM right now are holding on to a almost 380 points per minute lead. Though every single minute that passes by, JWM grow their lead by 380 points, and MFLD have to stop that bleeding right now. They're doing everything they can to get the most important buildings in terms of points per minute, which is the altar. It is being well swarmed, and the rally is very much being active in here. And from the little bit I'm seeing, it looks like MFLD are going to have great success at going at this altar. MFLD also trying to distract JWM by sending rallies onto the JWM obelisk. Now, a lot of these folks are very far forward ahead, and they could not keep an eye on the obelisk. But as you can see so far, looks like the obelisk is holding strong, and Monsta is showing up with a march to help it out. Top obelisk looking a little bit different. Top obelisk has very little presence in front of it, only 4 cities as I see, and these 4 cities have a lot of people way up front that are really going to need to come in and help out with the obelisk. Now, Moo's marches are making it back in, so hopefully he will notice this and be able to help out this obelisk. Grimy doing everything he can to do damage to the rally, but if JWM don't pay attention, they might get caught off guard, and this obelisk might go down in the favor of MFLD, which will cause a little bit of a situation. As that situation evolves, though, JWM are taking over the map. Another altar in the favor of JWM. This is a very big problem for Kingdom 93 for one main reason. Even if JWM are not capable of holding on to this building and they will lose occupation of it, it still stopped the points per minute gain of Kingdom 93 to the point where now they're trailing by 610 points per minute. At this point, JWM have enough buildings that are ticking for points that they can allow themselves to lose a building or two in order to focus on buildings that are giving points to Kingdom 93. So for example, while they're not letting go of this desert altar that's being swarmed for quite a bit now, the fact that this is still going on just goes to show that for JWM, the priority is delay, 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 and let us get the points, rather than let's ensure we hold on and hold forever. You can see a RTZ sending a rally that is doing decent damage to this Wuzetian, but just not enough damage to hold on to getting this building, really. All blue buildings are blinking almost. Every single altar, Shrines of Life going crazy, Tanglan almost there, taking this building out of the hands of JWM. But it looks like once JWM established themselves in a building, it is so much harder to get them out of it than I've ever seen, really. With Turin capturing the Ark of Osiris, though, good news in the favor of Kingdom 93. Kingdom 93 have a huge presence in the center. Ark of Osiris has popped, and indeed, it is marching in the favor of MFLD. This is a great start. This is a great start for the comeback. For the folks of Kingdom 93, the 3,000 points right here that this arc represents is closing down the lead that JWM already have. And with that being said, it gives them more breathing room. The longer the bleeding continues, the longer JWM increase their lead, the harder it'll be for Kingdom 93 to make a comeback. For Kingdom 93 to make a comeback, they're going to need Turin to carry this Ark of Osiris. Now, we know Turin from Kingdom 58, the good old ex-leader of High, my old alliance. And so we know he is definitely marching this Ark of Osiris with a Richard for a reason. The reason for it is pretty straightforward. The more you move it in your favor, the easier it is to take it all the way home. So even though the march wasn't necessarily the most ideal one, the fact that the arc can keep moving in the favor of Kingdom 93, that is a huge win for them. And it's why people are consistently trying to pick up the arc and consistently getting destroyed. JWM will easily win MFLD. I don't agree. Look at MFLD already coming back into this. They've picked up their Sky Altar back, which is a great stop. And they really need to be able to hold on to it to guarantee themselves to slow down the bleeding. They've also taken the Shrine of Life back in their favor, which is great news. They're working on another altar right now, and this desert altar is still being fought for. 2 Shrines of War also being combated hard, and looks like the MFLD will take this Shrine of War away from JWM, which is a huge start for them. This is the kind of things they need to do right now. They need to take over buildings, they need to stop the bleeding, and they need to start taking control of the points per minute game. 42 long minutes remaining until the end of this match, and trust me, it's not over by a mile. It's not over by a mile. There are about 4,000 points between these two, 5,000 points between both these kingdoms. But those 5,000 points are very easy to come back from in 42 very long minutes that are left in this match. Now the real question is, as Kingdom 93, what do you do? And as Kingdom 59, what do you do? Kingdom 93, their top priority has to be right now to figure out how to divide their power on the field to be able to take away points per minute from JWM. Right now, they are not 100% able to hold on to their buildings for long term, but what they have to be able to do is take away buildings from JWM. The top priority for Kingdom 93 as of right now should be focus all your energies on taking away the altars from JWM, taking the Shrine of War away from JWM. Even if you don't hold on to it, stop the growth of points by JWM with every minute that passes. Here is a great start for that. MFLD taking away the Desert Altar, dropping JWM by 150 points, and now the lead is only 490 points, which is still very relevant, but much smaller than those 600, 700 numbers we saw previously. Now that the altar was taken away, it's time to hold on to it. It's time to start evening out the points per minute game. At 590 points, that is the middle point. It means that the folks of MFLD should be able to get themselves to 590 points as well. And here's one very important thing that JWM are showing us on the screen. Hulk could have very easily kept going after this rally and beaten it down. But why didn't he do it? The building is holding on very well. The building has plenty of power. It's doing almost triple the damage to the rally. And the rally has a reinforcement coming in, sure. But right now, the building is holding. And for Hulk to have his presence up front, where he is going to be more required to help out this rally, is more important than anything else. On top of that, you can see Geo, RTZ, and Royal King, and even Beta, they're all focused somewhere else right now, and this is giving this rally a little bit of breathing room to keep doing the damage. Geo instantly paying attention to this and coming in to swarm the rally and not let this swarm get in on time. Right now, Geo's 2 marches are the main reason why this rally will most likely fail. And by the time Hulk gets here, there will be enough left in the building and outside of the building so that they can take care of the Hulk swarm by themselves, which is a fantastic play. Now again, JWM knew that Hito apparently is coming to reinforce this area. And so Hulk kept going down. The building took a little bit of a beating, but still plenty of times. Could I disable simplified graphics? No, I cannot. I'd have to get out of the match, get back into the match. It's such a headache when it decides to simplify your graphics. In Ark of Osiris, it doesn't have an option to get rid of it, which is highly frustrating. Maybe if the match gets a little bit more one-sided, then we will go ahead and try to do that, kind of just to make it look nicer. But for now, JWM fighting to hold on to their Shrine of Life. On top of that, fighting hard to get the Desert Altar away from MFLD. MFLD right now trying to hold on to the Shrine of Life with a very tough competition coming up against them. And to make things worse, I don't really see too many rallies from our friends in Kingdom 93. It's hard to synchronize rallies, even more when your big players are holding on the center onto buildings. Checking the center, I haven't checked the center because I noticed that JWM are just carrying the arc. And even though there are fights happening in here and it's all nice and dandy, I've noticed that the arc on the map keeps moving towards JWM's side and is not being dropped. And so we can watch the brawl. But it definitely isn't the main focus of what it should be going on right now. And by the way, 93 is very much able to come back out of this. Even with this arc going in favor of JWM, which would mean they would have about 10,000 points of a lead. The bleeding has stopped, and JWM are not over the 590 points per minute anymore, which is a great start. Now it's time for Kingdom 93 to step on it and to take the lead in the points per minute game. And only after that, they can starting to work a little bit better on figuring out how to fix some of the holes that they might notice in their gameplay. The big problem is to kick JWM out of a building is not as simple as it seems. These guys have some of the best defending commanders out there, including Wuzetian, but not only Wuzetian. And it seems like every time you try to go up against them, they have open field presence as well as inside the building presence that is just so hard to catch off guard. It's ridiculous. MFLD, however, holding on strong to the Shrine of War, which is very important for them. It will make sure that they have an even balance of buffs out of this Shrine of War, and JWM won't stack them up. That is good news for MFLD. But man, oh man, MFLD are really going to need to figure out how to get more points per minute quickly, or else the time will start going down more and more, and their window of opportunity to come back into this will slowly close up. JWM will soon deliver that Ark of Osiris. Sky Altar successfully occupied by JWM, while another building was taken out, and the points per minute are now at 660. JWM taking again that 590 plus points per minute difference. MFLD are doing everything they need to be doing right now. the way they need to be doing it, in the sense that they are defending the buildings that are the most important for them. The Sky Altar means a lot more than anything else right now, but they really need to figure out how to hold on to 2 of these altars comfortably, and only from there start working towards the 3rd, 4th one, and so forth and so on. I see Attila on the field. He looks good. Do you? I have not seen an Attila yet, but he should be somewhere here. We should be seeing some Attilas being played. I have yet to see one as a main commander. There could be one as a secondary somewhere in here, but I haven't seen it yet. Are going to participate as well or cast the whole match? I don't play on JWM's Ark of Osiris. I play on Kingdom. I play on JWM 2. I play on our second team. And we were supposed to play yesterday, but I messed up. Noon is using Attila. Sweet. Where is he? Excuse me, chat. Where is he? Let us see that Attila. Where are you? There's another Noon March. There's another Noon. There he is. And there's another Noon March. Cool. Ooh, he was hitting this. Maybe. We can take a peek really quickly at the battle reports. See if we catch a Noon by any chance in here. We might. We might catch a Noon in here. There it is. Oh my goodness gracious. That's a hell of a hit. Okay, so Attila is maxed out and Takeda is not yet. Well, that answers that one. Oh my goodness gracious. That is a big boy march right there by one of the biggest players in this game, really. MFLD doing everything they need to do right now to try to take some buildings away from JWM. However, like I mentioned to you guys before, this Desert Altar and this Sky Altar, they are predominantly more JWM owned because they are closer to JWM's obelisk. The march time from Pepe to here is much smaller than anyone from Kingdom 93. And so by forcing your way into this building, it's actually much harder to win versus fighting a building like this one, for example, where MFLD can consistently get more marches out here quicker. Once Da gets taken out, and he is close to getting taken out, once he gets taken out, then there is not going to be any open field extra in here to help out the building hold. And that's when the folks from MFLD should be using this opportunity, like Mr. 1-2 is doing, to march forward closer to this altar and take it back. The problem that's happening for MFLD is that even on their side between JWM and them, they're having a hard time putting the amount of troops on the field that they need to in order to really get the buildings done. A great example here is I don't understand how are there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cities in here and not enough open field presence in here that even JWM are capable to march the whole map in order to get here and reinforce their open field presence. MFLD should be able to drop 5 marches into here like that. Unfortunately, they're a little bit, it seems like they might be a little bit distracted in other places and other areas. And with that happening, it's so hard to keep up with things. I don't believe Da will hold beyond this one rally. If he manages to hold on against this rally, he's a monster. But I doubt it. I feel like we're about to see this building go down. It's going to get reinforced by MFLD. And now MFLD have to really hold. For the first time in a while, the map is set at half even. Even more than that, as of right now, JWM are just about 150 points ahead. There is 31 minutes remaining, and there's still plenty of time to get things done. But for that, MFLD cannot allow themselves to lose their altars again. And more than that, they're going to have to now show much better presence at their forward-facing battle against JWM in the Sky Altar that belongs to JWM in order to potentially start securing a comeback. The number one priority for Kingdom 93 right now is not only to hold on to their own buildings, but also to start showing forward presence without letting the buildings behind fall short. Now, here's one more important thing you should know. The Ark of Osiris is pretty much out of play. Iorlas is holding on to it, and nothing in the world is going to make him get rid of it. With that being said, there is more space for troops in the open field on both sides now to compete. And this is where the open field swarms, Johnny with a nice Attila in here as well, the open field swarms are really going to have to be relevant. JWM do have the Ark as well. It doesn't mean much, by the way. If Kingdom 93 have been provisioning like crazy throughout this match, they can easily overcome both the points per minute as well as that Ark of Osiris. Definitely, they can overcome both adversities. They can definitely do it. But for that, they need to take over buildings. Now, one of the things we've realized in Osiris League Season 1, and if you haven't seen it yet, please make sure you notice this. One-on-one rallies versus buildings are not a thing anymore. Swarming a rally is super efficient. And the top tier of the game is swarming rallies like no one's business. Sending a rally by itself to fight a building is no longer an option. You have to be able to send some open field presence with that rally and make sure to clear the open field before your rally gets there, or else trouble will ensue. JWM have been very strict when it comes to these things. You'll see every one of their buildings has some open field presence nearby it, especially the ones that they're looking to combat, because they're not only looking to let the rally win, but also to clear the open field nearby to not allow any open field marches to do damage to the rally. Now, of course, MFLD have plenty of open field marches in here, which are doing massive damage to the rally, which is about to go down. But even then, the fact that JWM are fighting this open field consistently will mean that eventually they will find themselves with a lead in the sense that they'll have open field presence while MFLD don't. And then when the rally comes, trouble will ensue. So MFLD are doing the same, by the way. They are swarming buildings. They're ensuring they have open field presence around the buildings that they own and they're holding on to. However, they're not doing it enough on the offensive side to the point where their rallies, their forward rallies, are not as effective as they would like them to be. What else we have going on in this match? Crazy buildings blinking everywhere. Chat, if you haven't yet, make sure you take a moment and drop a like on the stream. It takes you 1 second. I would appreciate it very much. I know you guys don't mind hitting that like button. It does help out the channel. It lets me know you guys enjoy this kind of content and you want to see more of it in the future. 2 seconds, 285 beautiful people in the chat right now. Can smash that like. We can get through 100 likes like that in a moment. But still, appreciate every single one of you who, even if you don't hit the like button, are here with us today, enjoying this cast of a match which right now is very one-sided, but I have not given out hope at all. Don't give out on hope yet, because MFLD are not an alliance to mess with. They are big boys. They are strong players. They are savvy players, and they are very capable of a good comeback. They just need to get it going because their biggest enemy right now is time. 27 minutes remaining on the match. MFLD for the first time in this match taking the points per minute lead. 30 points per minute lead is all they need, just a little bit to stop the bleeding from happening. JWM returning the Ark of Osiris means that there will be arcs to be contested yet, and that is definitely a place where MFLD can come back from. Now that there is at least one more Ark of Osiris coming up in this match, there is still plenty of hope. A 3,500 point Ark of Osiris would put this at about 11,000 point difference, and if JWM cannot keep their lead and MFLD start taking the points per minute lead away from JWM more and more, there's still 27 long minutes in which a comeback can happen. For that, however, a nice little 14,000 point gap needs to be overcome, and that means 500 plus points per minute in favor of MFLD, and that number will keep growing with every minute that passes. This does not take into account Ark of Osiris deliveries as well as provisioning, which is another topic that we're going to see later on as the match concludes. Sky Altar being held well by MFLD. They need to lock this thing up and make sure it doesn't get taken out. Open field presence is fantastic by the MFLD folks, holding strong. Small advice for you, chat. Marches like this should not march back. As you can see, this guy right here turned back and sent his march up to fight. The reason he's doing that is I want to show you, hopefully he'll actually get into the fight. He was going to go fight this guy instead. Come on, fight the open field. Any of you, you two, low march. And I want to show you guys the difference right now. J-Rock has to march all the way home. He has a long 4-minute march to go. However, one of his friends right here, well, this guy's marching here. It's kind of not fair. This guy's still marching here. That's kind of not fair. Let's let these guys suicide it out. Do not march back home to your city. Anyone watching, when your marches are this low, don't waste your time marching. Suicide your marches like these guys are trying to do right now. Suicide your marches. Let them march with a frowny face. That makes them march much faster, and it means that you'll get home faster. If you notice, every single one of Noon's marches go frowny face so he can get home faster. A march like this, walking back, even though it's only 53 seconds all the way to here, it would have been 20 seconds if he was frowny faced march. And so 2 marches are pretty much locked out for the next minute instead of for the next 30 seconds by a simple mechanic in the game that you need to focus on, which is suicide your troops. Do not let them march back. When you suicide your troops, they walk faster. As you can see, Noon is pretty much letting the march get toasted. He knows that these marches are pointless at this point, but they're more pointless with 30,000 troops. He'd rather have them at 0 and have the march go much faster back than what we're seeing right now. And there goes Noon, 3 marches, crying back home, but that's okay. They can cry all they want. He just cut his march speed by half, and he'll be back here real quick. While all this is going on, MFLD taking the lead in the buildings game for the first time in a while, and this is a good lead. 3 altars in their favor as 1 altar is about to lock in a minute and a half and start ticking for points for them, and this will give them a nice lead, a nice comfortable lead to start working on to close the gap between these 2 teams. JWM is not going to let this fly, however. They're looking at trying to take away an altar back. But MFLD are really starting to put the open field pressure. We're seeing what we're talking about. Open field pressure on rallies means the rally is unsuccessful. So the same thing is being done right here. Open field pressure on the rally and on the people hitting the desert altar secures the desert altar. And now comes the desert altar that JWM own. It is time for MFLD to show up here with their forces like they are and start making the play towards this very important altar. The only one ticking for points for JWM as of right now. We went silent a little bit as I had to cough, and I didn't want to cough in your ears, so sorry for that. Looking at the map right now, it looks much more in the favor of MFLD than it does on JWM side. And this is the first one. In the last 38 minutes, JWM were very dominant on the field. And now trouble ensues. This altar right here, to hold on to it, MFLD are going to have to send massive troops forward onto the field. And JWM are much closer to taking this out. Even though it'll lock down into the points per minute in favor of MFLD, and MFLD will have a small, nice lead for a little bit, they don't have enough open field presence to hold on to this building. Even though they are holding on to it for quite a while, they're doing everything they need to do. There's way too much open field presence and too little of MFLD nearby here to come reinforce the building. And so it will fall back in the favor of JWM. However, the points per minute gain was crucial and drastic and almost 300 points more, almost 400 points in the lead of MFLD is exactly what we were talking about. This is what they need to be doing. Right now, stop the bleeding, increase your own, close that gap, and finally get some provisions, get an Ark of Osiris, and potentially come back into this. MFLD losing the Sky Altar is not the worst news on earth. That building is predominantly better secured by JWM. But them losing this Desert Altar could be very, very bad for them. It looks like there's not enough open field presence to help out in here. And the building is about to go down. When that building goes down, that's 150 points per minute less in the favor of MFLD, and their lead goes out the window with it as well. They'll still have like a 60, 80 point per minute lead, I feel like. It's like, what is it, 30 point per minute lead? But other than that, if this building doesn't hold, it is donezo. There are marches coming closer and closer, but they're just not close enough to make that final impact. The building is taken out of MFLD's hands, and so is the big chance they had to come back into this match. They're still in the lead, but not by enough so that they should be calling home about it. And with teleports available, JWM still holding on to 4 teleports. It's just too hard to hold on to buildings that are not on your side of the map without having the open field presence to back it up. And yeah, the open field presence is super important. I want to point out to you guys one small thing that you guys might be noticing on the screen, a small tip for you guys doing Ark of Osiris. Do you see Moo right here, Monster right here? Monster's march is a big march. He's not a gatherer, he's a warrior in here. But so long as this march is on the open field and not doing much, there's no reason for him not to be gathering. So long as your march doesn't get killed inside the node like this gathering march, even if it dies off later on in the open field, will bring back the caravan points and rewards with it. And so having in between things your marches gathering and then later on making them frowning face back home is definitely advisable, and it's definitely something you should be doing, especially if you're an open field individual and having a hard time keep up with all your marches. So Monster right now realizing with his full march, he's going to have to do something else. What is he doing? Is he coming back home or joining a rally? He's going back home to then do something else with this march. But even if he didn't finish this caravan, it's gathering a little bit of points, and that's all that matters at this point. Here's the problem though. Ark of Osiris popped up. And man, oh man, the situation is looking weird. There's a lot of red presence, a lot of MFLD presence, but JWM picked up the Ark first, and they are moving the Ark more and more on their side in their favor, 2 steps at a time. But even then, it looks like they're still gaining a substantial amount of ground, which MFLD will later on have to figure out what to do with. Unfortunately for JWM, MFLD did take away this outpost, which is a little bit of a nuisance, a little bit of a pain in the butt. But it does mean that they got to be careful getting that Ark closer to that outpost, or else it could get stolen away. MFLD right now showing up with open field presence by the masses, and they really want and need this Ark. They have captured the Ark, it's in their favor, and it is starting to march back. And Gekko seems to be holding onto this Ark pretty well. And so far, he's not being targeted, but that so far went away real quick. Look at his health just going down to nothing, and poof, goes Gekko, and the Ark gets dropped. I don't know who is going to take this Ark, honestly. There is a lot of red presence in here. There's a lot of blue presence in here. But it seems like JWM are looking to make the game fairly even. If they're willing to give up on this Ark, they're only willing to give up on this Ark in exchange for the 4 altars, which is the case right now. 3 of them ticking for points in favor of JWM. So even if this Ark gets secured by Kingdom 93, they're then going to have to figure out how to get rid of all of these points that JWM keep accumulating. Overall, as much as I don't like to call matches ahead of time, I feel like this one is all but done for. We have seen both sides employ very interesting strategies, and I hope you guys picked up on some of the little things that each team is doing. I picked up on something that I see Kingdom 93 doing, and I picked up on something new that I didn't know JWM does, which it seems like they do. So hopefully you guys noticed a few things, and you'll use this VOD to learn a little bit on how Ark of Osiris works, on how these teams play, and how you trade off essentially buildings for Ark for buildings, provisioning, and all that good stuff. We're going to touch on all that briefly on the stream. Quick reminder, once more, if you haven't yet, make sure you drop a like on the stream. I would really appreciate it. Helps out the stream, helps out the channel. Costs you nothing. 1 click and you are done. What can we summarize out of this? JWM seem to have a clear open field presence. They seem to have a clearer goal in terms of how they hold on to buildings as well as to how they siege buildings. And there could be a situation where MFLD and both JWM too said, you know what, play casually, all is good. We don't want to give out too many of our cards. There's no shame in winning or losing. It doesn't mean anything. It's only a regular arc. We are not fighting for this just yet. So with all that being said, I saw a huge change in MFLD's gameplay. I see a little bit of changes in the way they did things. I also see some new modifications in the Ark of Osiris gameplay of JWM. And overall, I think that Season 2 is going to have some crazy fights happen. And even having as a balanced in terms of power Ark of Osiris, this goes to show yet again that the number one thing in Ark of Osiris is strategy and good coordination. If you have a good strategy and your team is well coordinated, power is very insignificant. It has a huge advantage. It does have a huge advantage. But the matter of the fact that a match like this can be so relatively one-sided only goes to show that the power is not the only factor that makes an Ark of Osiris a winnable Ark of Osiris. With that being said, there are 256 awesome people in the chat. Let's get those GGs in the chat for both teams, MFLD and JWM, for this really, really cool arc we got to cast. In the next like 13 minutes or so, I'll turn my attention more towards you guys in case you ask any questions, comments, anything like that. I will focus more on you guys than actually on the match happening, as I can definitely call this as a done-for match and a victory for JWM. So I will also join you guys in the GGs. GGs to both teams in the chat. And let's see what you guys have to ask. Questions, comments, anything. The last training for big teams before Osiris League. What do you mean the last training before Osiris League? I didn't say this is the last training. There's going to be Arks of Osiris coming still. Antonio, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you very much. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, chat, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button as well as the like button. You know, the standard stuff. Ask your questions. This is the time. This is the time. I'm sure some of you have questions about Ark of Osiris, about the strategy, about the commander pairings you're seeing. Damn, did you guys see the animation? Check the animation. I love it. Come on, animate again. Rage up. Damn. That's some nasty stuff. What was it the first match of Ark? Where can I find the schedule? So Ark of Osiris, there is no schedule. Each team picks whichever times they want to play, and the game kind of matches them based on 5 different time zones you can pick. There are other Arks of Osiris happening right now as we're talking, and this is not the official Osiris League. Ark of Osiris happens all the time, all over the place. Once every 2 weeks, these are friendly matches. The real deal is during Osiris League, and that's going to happen very soon. Season 2 of Osiris League will start, and then you'll see schedules and have matches and all that good stuff. This is kind of just like a friendly match, a scrim between 2 teams. And you can see when Arks of Osiris are available. When the Ark of Osiris event pops up, it'll tell you what time zones you can pick out of your team picks, and they get matched with the best available pairings. What do I think about 7 rallies at the start of Ark? 7 rallies by one team, you mean? I think it's a really interesting approach, but remember that the marches on the outposts can only hold on to 500,000 troops. So if everybody's using army expansions, you can't send even 2 full marches into this rally. So while I understand the idea behind it, I don't think the outpost rallies are very significant. But one thing I haven't seen happen enough is people rallying other individuals to move pieces on the map. So it is a very, very common thing for kingdoms to really quickly go for the obelisk to move troops forward on the map. But I really don't get how there is some time between the time you ported to the time everything starts happening. I don't get how people from the same lane don't port, instantly start a rally on anyone in here just to get the rally marching and break it somewhere in here to get those movements to happen. That's something I have never seen yet, and I think it has to happen. It has to happen. We need to have more people moving marches forward on the field with rallies. And unfortunately, outpost rallies are not very useful, but rallying other cities definitely is. Remember, you can send 2 million troops, not 1.5 mil. Just came back from a party committee reunion. Sounds fun. We did that strat twice and won both. Okay, sure. Sure. We did the same strat all Osiris League and won quite comfortably until we didn't. You never know what the opposition is. To say, if you say this works and it works, cool, then awesome. Congrats. But if you're asking if it's the best thing to do, I'm sure there are other things you can do that is a little bit easier, that'll give you more bang for your buck. It's not a bad idea to have 7 rallies at the start. It really isn't. You just got to make sure they're well coordinated, that the people who are first teleporting forward are not caught up in those rallies. So it requires a little bit of extra sync for sure. Which building to put Wuzetian? Which one you choose to use Wuzetian? Breezy play, always, always, always an altar over everything else. The altars are your biggest money makers. They're the biggest points per minute machines. If you want to win the match, they are the buildings you have to focus on. What OV did during Osiris League Season 1 was really interesting. They rather hold on to the Shrine of War. They wanted to ensure that their Shrine of War is well secured so the troop attack and troop defense is never skewed against them, so that it's an even matchup, or they take JWM's Shrine of War and then they take the buffs in to their side. I understand that mentality, and if you only have one Wuzetian available, then I could see why you would do it. But holding on to an altar is super, super, super critical, and the more the better, honestly. IWM win 2. Shout out, brother. Yo, what's up? Good luck. Awesome. Good to hear. I see life in here as well. IWM pouncing on their Ark of Osiris as well. That's awesome. That's good to hear. We'll hear from JJWM as well after this. So hopefully a bunch of Kingdom 59 alliances made it and won. Yeah, Breezy play. I would focus a little bit more on the altars. I'd focus a little bit more, on the altars. Sorry, not on the shrines. And quite frankly, taking an enemy side altar and sticking a Wuzetian in it is super OP as well. GG beta. Why only beta? GG to all of MFLD. They played well. They didn't play bad at all. Can you show the scores of each player? Sure. Let's make sure everybody hit that 10,000 points in this match. JWM Jin Bao in 30th. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. And the 30th place of MFLD are Darren Sean with 24,000 as well. Everybody enjoying the max rewards. Sanguine Gal 105,000 points is the leader in here, and for JWM Moo with 104,000 points, fighting for the champion of Osiris right here, champion of Egypt. We're seeing a few of the folks that we usually see a little bit further down, Beta in here, Nico, Lion King, and so forth. So it tells me that they're experimenting things, they're testing things, which means I dig it. I dig it a lot. I really do. As long as they're experimenting and trying things, that makes this Ark of Osiris worth it. So long as it's not just we are trying to win no matter what, as long as the gameplay improves and Osiris League gets better, that's really all that matters. Dark Gamer, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you very much for subscribing. And all of you who are chilling with us till the very end, 6 minutes remaining in this match. Is Oopsie playing? I have no idea who is on this lineup, honestly. I have no clue if Oopsie is in here or not. Yep, he's here. He's in here. So Kingdom 93 fighting off for this Ark of Osiris, which is, might as well, why not, get those extra points in there while they still can. The points per minute game is pretty decisively in JWM side, and it has been the whole match. Yeah, what else can be said? Nothing else can be said. And nothing else can be said. JWM still sending the rallies out, still doing their thing, but Coffee or T are is really not gonna let this swing. He's gonna take this rally out real quick. Unfortunately, the Shrine of War itself was very well secured. I'll give you that, but the rest of the buildings had such a tougher time holding on to. I can't wait for Osiris League Season 2. I agree. It's gonna be an awesome league. And this time, chat, I hope not only to hope not only to cast it, but also to participate. If not, we're not gonna be on the main JWM team, but maybe we'll make it on the secondary. You never know. You never know. And as time keeps winding down, we're just keeping an eye on chat right now, seeing that if any of you have any comments, questions, anything, now's the time. MFLD should fight JWM2, not JWM. Why? They're just as good of a team. I am very happy with what I saw this arc of Osiris, honestly. I don't think 93 did anything bad. I think 93 experimented with a lot of things. I've seen them swapping around the commander leaders. I've seen them swapping around the rally leaders. I'm seeing them experimenting. So as long as they didn't play their A game and lost, they played a scrim-based type of game, which they have been, and lost. As long as they learned something and improved their strategy for when the match actually matters, I feel like that's a great thing. I can't really wait to watch the bigger kingdoms in the game meet each other in KVK. It would be great content for you, Gekko. Gisang, later today, well, when the map reveals of our Lost Kingdom, a video will come out explaining to you how our big Lost Kingdom is going to work out. And trust me when I tell you, you've not seen this coming. You've not seen this coming at all. That video is going to be eye-opening. Trust. And it's going to be a crazy Lost Kingdom. It really is going to be. When's the map reveal for LK? In a couple of hours, sort of reset is when the map will open up. There's no new map. It's the old map. It's the old format. It's the old everything. It's the old everything, with the exception of Lost Canyon and no legendary commander as reward. So yeah, not necessarily the best. Not necessarily the best. Are you going to live stream during your KVK during the action? I'm not entirely sure if I will. IDF Matkal. I really don't know. I might. I'm considering the options because I prefer making a video after and have all the information and all the reports and all that good stuff rather than live stream and just sit here for 9 hours while you guys watch the same thing I watch essentially. I don't know. I feel like making a video after allows me to give you better content than just let me stream for 9 hours, 10 hours straight Lost Kingdom. And some of you will sit for 9-10 hours and watch, but majority of you will not last all that, and the VOD later on will just go to waste. People are not going to watch 9 hours worth of content. So I don't know. Maybe I'll stream like an hour of madness just to kind of have a little bit of live stuff going on. But I feel like most of the action will come in forms of videos. Speaking of which, 2 more Lost Kingdom 141 videos already made, and there are 2 more in the making. Those will come out this week as well. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I'll be asleep. I have to fight too. Yeah. Yep. We're going to need to get some fighting. Can't watch you and not fight. It makes sense. It makes sense. It would make a lot of sense. What we got here? Anything going on? One building blinking. Let's take a look at that. Better than not look at anything. Well, that building is going to stop blinking in a moment. Open field combat happening right here. This is pretty much all but over. Just waiting on the timer on the champion of Egypt to be announced for the big GGs. Look through the stats. see some things that I hope we're going to see. And yeah, lots of cool stuff coming up. I'm at 1.9 million points from forts now. Jeez, Wolfie, what the hell? That's a lot of forts. That is a lot of forts. I'll pass, but thanks. I'll pass, but thanks. I think like I have like 200,000 points, something like that. Red buildings blinking everywhere. JWM still rallying and rallying strong. Moo really wants to be the champion of Egypt. 12 seconds remaining. Can he clutch the championship? 115 again. Ooh. Sanguine Gal said, hell to the no. I am the champion of Egypt. And so she will be. GG's to the folks of MFLD and JWM. Let's take a look at the stats as MFLD's Sanguine Gal is the champion of Egypt. Yes, ma'am. What is this? That does nothing, right? Okay, cool. With that being said, let's take a quick peek at the stats. Very important part of Arc of Osiris as well. What we're noticing is for 9,400 provision points by JWM. Almost 10,000 points of provisions from JWM against the 400 of Kingdom 93. 17,000 points against the 32,000 points. Pretty much half of the lead. Big part of the lead really is provisions. Provisions. There's a way to do it. It's very simple and you can get big boy returns. 9,467. 0 heals on JWM side versus 2.5 million on MFLD. Also, I don't really think those heals were like a must. I feel like someone just wanted to keep playing, essentially. Someone just wanted to keep playing. 0 units healed. The kills are looking good. Looking at occupations, they were fairly even. Arc captures were fairly even. Teleports won by JWM extra, but other than that, a pretty clean cut victory. And with that being said, chat, let me come back onto the screen. Bam. Hello. Sorry for not being around for this cast on the screen. I had to record the footage for something else I'm working on, and I can't be on stream and that as well. And so we didn't do that. Now we're back. And GG's to our friends in Kingdom 93. Big shout out to Kingdom 93 and MFLD. A nasty, nasty strong alliance and a nasty, nasty strong kingdom. Today was not their day. Tomorrow will be a better one. And for now, what can be said? Chat, thank you for being awesome. We appreciate every single one of you who was here in this cast. We peaked at almost like 300 and some viewers. I appreciate every single one of you. Drop a like if you haven't yet before you leave. And I'll see you sooner rather than later. A new video coming out sometime during server reset, which you guys don't want to miss out on. And massive content on its way. Lots of action. Lost Kingdom 141, massive action. Lost Kingdom 101 action coming up. And so much more. Christmas event content too. Man, oh man, we're blasting content, chat. We're blasting content. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well. Thank you for being awesome. JWM1 as well. That's good news. Thank you, Wolf, for the update. Chat, thank you for being awesome. And take care. Have a great rest of your weekend and enjoy the beginning of your week. Did I burn you? I did not, Wolfie. I did not. GG's. Thank you guys very much again. Take care, and I'll see you sooner rather than later. Peace.